This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Richard. We're just gonna have this conversation more than turning this trying to make this a performance piece or something like that. But I was just asking him a question like, why did you guys round down Clean Cut Media as it was part of your guys's construction business?
Yeah, so a couple of things worth mentioning, I guess, and creating context around my answer. Clean Cut Media was working, not just for Clean Cut Roofing and our own companies, but also for other contractors. In fact, Matt Danskin, he was one of our clients. So we had a lot of other industry clients that we did a lot of work for. Successfully, unless they're not told me directly, they were all happy with the work that we did. A lot of practical work, not necessarily. We did ad spend, but we did a lot of just grinding out graphics and videos. And
the reason I'm kind of asking is because I just had another inquiry from somebody else who is a roofing company owner that reached out to us that had his own agency going as kind of like a piece of their business that just reached out to us today wanting us to work for him. So what I'm really getting at is it's fucking not like perfectly simple. And I kind of want to have a roofing company, right? Like I'm not really rushing out to do that because there's so many different intricacies. But I had to hear the answer. So excuse me if I feel gleeful, but I'm just curious.
No. Well, so everything worked and worked and worked. My biggest struggle, and the reason why it's rounded down, was one, focus, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing great and have clear deliverables for people who are paying us, but you're also on the, because it was in-house employees, they were on the payroll to deliver for us, and they did. But it was like, I want more and more and more. What if we took everything you're doing for everyone? Now that we see that you have that capacity, how do we bring that in-house? So we tried that, and very, very, very quickly we found out, well, I don't know if it was so much we couldn't afford it. Maybe we could, but it was the step to, like, if you want to make that level of money, you're not going to make that working for one company. As a video producer necessarily. I produce videos and photos, right? And I work with a team, and I want to make 75 grand this year. And I'd like to see a road path to 100, 120, right? Well, in-house in a company, that's a longer journey.
It's hard to provide that amount of value for one company. Exactly. And it's harder. It's also hard to get that appetite for one company on average. And I mean, especially a 50-person company. I mean, ultimately, I had a full-time video guy that no longer works here, to be honest. And I have to do it on my own now because we realized it just was putting pressure on other aspects of our, our service. I want the service to be really good. Service is everything. And if it's not part of service, it's basically it's overhead, or I guess it's kind of business development, but unfortunately, it's hard to make that money back as the business development. Sales guys is easy, it's obvious, but with marketing, we are it feels fluffy to everyone. So it's just this constant tension.
That's what it is. Tension.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So before we get in, because I'm going to do the ultimate content machine, it's not necessarily the newest idea, a little bit derivative of some Gary Vee shit and basically what I've seen work for us. But I want to ask you, what were you doing when you had the kind of 4 people internally, 3 or 4, however many, and what are you doing now, kind of quickly, if you don't mind kind of just giving me the rundown?
Yeah, so when we had 4 people, I had a manager who did everything basically from design, and he was answered on execution, right? So if we had a meeting and we said, this is what needs to happen, it landed on his table. And then who he had working underneath him, he had someone who just focused on ads, Facebook ads, Google ads. And then he had a content guy who basically, if he hadn't needed video photos, he took care of that. He also edited them. That guy took care of everything in regards to video and photo production for our ads and different marketing endeavors.
And now you got to be a lot scrappier. You're probably like, you kind of got to find little outsourced ways to do some of this stuff, busy work, etc.
Yeah, because the value is huge, right? When I did have somebody full-time doing that, and he wasn't married, he was single and didn't need to make a ton of money. He was happy and everything was great. And I had high-end photo, like, he had a very nice camera, and I still have very nice cameras, nice lenses. So our photos, our videos, everything had that like next level feel to it. Even if I didn't agree with how he laid out the graphics or anything, there's something about having low depth of field, crisp images and videos, that it just says something like, oh, this company's trying, that's definitely next level. And it's a balance, right? People say, oh, you lose authenticity. I don't know about that. There's a reason why.
Definitely not, from my point of view, not for the work, at least in like demonstration videos. And man, anything out and about, it looks so good. Anything talking head, I can see how sometimes, like, I'll do selfie videos and sometimes those will do better than the super well produced ones. So I can see it like when you're just talking head or whatever, when it's not required, sometimes it does feel a little bit like overkill, but.
Yeah, but when it's of the work of my people, I ran a Billboard campaign last year. I ran 24 billboards at one time in a market of about 250,000 people. So not a huge market. And that's an expanded market. The actual city that I had every single billboard in is a town of 80,000 people. So, everyone was going to know who I was. And every single billboard had a number on it, just like a 1 through 24. And then it was pictures of my people. So like everything had something smiling, just highlighting my team. And then a little saying, like, I think we had core values on there. We had stuff. And then our logo real small in the bottom. I could only do that, really. Well, I guess it was a lot easier. It was a lot easier to do that then. Trying to do that something like that now would be extremely difficult for me because of just the logistics of getting that type of content together.
So at this point, is there any rhythm for like blog content or videos going out, and what is your current rhythm?
Right now, I'm scrambling. I'm just going to be honest.
So I'm going to talk about one thing. I want to kind of say this. On one side, you have hook agency services, and the other side, I'm going to talk about the absolute ideal, because hook agency services are basically, it gets blogging done for you, and it's just done like one piece of content a week, gone, boom, boom, boom. It's mostly for search engine optimization. Some people share those things on social media, but it's not like super brand focused content. We're getting better all the time. And like, I have things that we do, like we have challenger viewpoints where every single blog post is supposed to challenge the market a little bit. And so there's certain things that we're trying to level that up, but it is still focused on search engine optimization. On the other hand, if I had a roofing company, I would probably create an engine internally, like you guys were trying to do. And I think that you probably still can do. And certainly my ideal is that hook agency, just to kind of like, I think like hook agents, like I like hook agency handling the nasty, boring search engine optimization content. And then I like people, if they have like, oh, we can do a blog on like the importance of drip edge. And I'm going to go shoot a video talking about drip edge. I don't know if drip edge is big where
No, it's important, but like doing it locally, I can now do it on a local celebrity's place or something that people recognize, like they associate. This is not just a blog post. I know that place.
Yeah. and you've got let's say a little bit deeper piece of content with like, you can do the interview with the subject matter expert sitting there explaining it, demonstrating out on the job, whatever it happens to be, or in the office with some like good visuals. And then like you can create the blog post from that, or my team can create the blog post from that. But I'm going to talk about my absolute ideal, because it's great if it's a mixture of both, but let's just talk about it. So I'm all about the pillar content. And Richard, I'm sorry if this is redundant, but I think that this is the ideal content machine. So you've got the pillar piece of content, let's say a video. A lot of times it could be a podcast. Like I think a podcast is a podcast / video is a great piece of pillar content, because you can interview a subject matter expert. It should be for homeowners or property managers if you're a roofing company. It shouldn't be for the roofing industry. I think that there's a lot of them. And honestly, I guest on them and I love them. And I'm glad that they exist, because I want to be on every single podcast that talks to roofers, right? But if you are a roofing company, you're going to get a lot more business on average from like doing a homeowner, or even location, city, like something about like hustlers in that city, or like entrepreneurship in city, like, or like the Nantucket home or something, you know what I mean? Like you could essentially, like whatever your city is, make something branded to that city, either about home ownership or entrepreneurship or something like that. And the reason why it could be about entrepreneurship from my point of view is also because this is, I think like ultimately I want to have some more roofing content on there and stuff like that, but it's also a referral engine for you and local influencers. So it's a mixture of both. If you do a pillar piece of content, let's say, maybe it's just internal people talking about, let's say that example of like the importance of drip edge on your home, or let's say removing shingles, let's say it's like, I don't think DIY is the best content, but I'm just trying to come up with some examples, right? How to remove shingles, right? And you have that big pillar piece of content. It can then boil down. So first of all, then automatically you want to have somebody that's responsible for making that into a blog. And you don't have to have this person internally at your company. You can have a freelance writer or a company like Hook or something like that. So they plan on every time there's a video going out, or you give them, here's the 4 videos from this past month. It gets turned into a blog. So you got double duty happening right there, or triple duty. You got YouTube, you got iTunes, Spotify, everywhere podcasts go out. We use transistor.fm for distribution on that. It's super clean and simple.
Nice.
And then you've got the blog that's getting created. The blog ideal scenario is you've got some good formatting, maybe even a visual or 2, right? So there's that piece of content. So that's like triple duty right at the beginning. And then, so I guess that's, 1, 2, 3. And it doesn't have to be a podcast. It could be YouTube videos. Let's say a little bit longer.
I see what you're saying, but you're in control of the host content.
Yeah, the host content. And then you don't have to be in control of every derivative piece of content. And I like the idea of then you, the marketing person, the marketing contact, the person responsible for the massive action delegation, I'd call it, then identifies clips from that longer form piece of content. So you go in on YouTube, you say, and I put a note on my, I've got the Mac shit, so I can do it on my phone, or I can do it on the screen, and it will be in both. I just like notes. So then I put like 3:12 start. I'm looking for interesting, spicy, things. 3:12 to 4:05. We talk about, if you don't have drip edge, your roof will leak. You know what I mean? Like whatever, like we say something a little bit spicy. There's a hot take.
Your fascia
so I've identified
will rot.
Yeah. Fascia, why your fascia is rotting. And then that will go at the top, like kind of the spicy headline for your reels, your reel, your TikTok, and your Instagram, I guess Facebook and Instagram reels, right? And then I'm not doing it right now, but YouTube shorts or whatever. Clips, I don't know what there's. Yeah, clips. I don't use that, so I can't speak authoritatively on that. But I use those 3. That TikTok is really cool, but what I see the problem with roofers on there is they're all talking to each other and no one, you're going too deep and it's not really for homeowners anymore. It's for your ego and your likes and your whatever.
That's
it's
social media
okay, but I
marketing
want
in general.
business from this. What's that?
I noticed that problem when my feed is full of roofing ads and roofing content, local roofing company content. I'm like,
yeah,
I like it,
you can leverage it, but just don't sit there forever. Like I'm saying, like do 2 for roofers and 3 for homeowners. Like don't get stuck in roofer shit.
You're not buying your stuff,
because
not writing checks.
Yeah, exactly. Then the next one is like, so basically you are identifying. So you have the timestamp and then you have the headline, right? And then you can go on upwork.com, find a social video editor. And so just Google social or search social video editor, try a few, give them shots, go identify places you like. So like Gary V, whoever else, and say why you like it. Say, look at these clips. It's kind of interesting. They're mixing it up and they're doing subtitles or whatever it happens to be. I like the headline. I like the emojis and I like the subtitles. And then you give them those 3 and then you say, hey, can you try it with these clips? You've got like 3 to 5 clips. Let's just say 3 per YouTube video. And then they bring those back. So you've spent a total of 1 hour, maybe identifying clips, making, it's like kind of having the writer ready, having the social video editor ready. And in my experience, I should have started with the why. This content, the reels and the TikToks, like it just gets easier eyeballs than average like video stuff. I don't know if you like videos on Facebook just don't seem to do as well.
No, the reels though.
Like, reels kind of go nuts every once in a while. Yeah.
And they've been doing surprisingly well. At least
and I don't even, basically in the real strategy, I think comes down to you can look for those opportunities, those slots that seem to like, you got to test all the features. So I tested IGTV, but that's gone now, right? You test them and then like, you got to test them every like 3 to 6 months. You try different stuff and then you just kind of like create pillar content and then derive and then post, and then ideal scenario, maybe even you're not the one that has to post. I mean, it's not, if you're a business owner, I should say, probably Richard, are you a business owner?
Not technically. I mean, technically, yes, and technically no, but
basically,
my role,
like Richard probably should post them. But like, if you're a business owner out there, you probably want to try to have somebody like either an admin or something, you know what I mean? Like, or a marketing person, if you have the person internally.
That's a question though, while I'm listening to this, I wonder, there's this balance of, well, maybe not a balance, but a threshold of capacity, right? So, let's say you're in we have this ideal thing, what do you call it again? The ideal,
basically the ideal content strategy, or like machine, the ideal content machine.
Now you've got the, where my struggle now is I don't have the ideal content machine built out so much, but just the capacity just to even
get the pillar content,
review the pillar content, and kind of, just quality control it.
Yes, you do have to quality, like, especially on the Upwork stuff, like it gets, that's the annoying part. Cause sometimes like the subtitles are trash or something like that. Like to get somebody, you can get somebody for like $20 an hour, but then it's like the quality goes down. Right. So.
And the trick is to not get burnt out in the first 2 hours of this.
Yeah. No, it's a very good point. And I think ultimately you got to mix in what's fun to you.
I think
in all this, like if it's not fun to you, that's why it's like, sometimes you just need to go out and make original, like I'm ready to make a TikTok that's dumb as hell. I'm going to shoot a flamethrower at the camera, which I did
Yes,
recently.
love it. Yes.
Like I got to do fun, stupid shit. We need to shoot arrows at siding, you know, like we need to flamethrower some shingles. We need to do a fastest shingler contest. We need to, you know, slap your grandma, whatever you got to do to keep it fun, because ultimately, first of all, no one cares unless it's a little bit fun. So you got to kind of always make your content more and more fun. And then second of all, good marketers are hard to come by, and you want to make sure that it's an enjoyable environment for them. So, and ultimate, like that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Like if you can create a fun environment where it gives a little bit of creative freedom to the people on your marketing, like, and I know it's something, a lot of roofers have one internal marketing person, still giving them some creative freedom. I am not telling you that this is the only way to do it. I'm saying, here's a way to kind of make derivative content in a way that, and ultimately, if you could have somebody for not an insane amount of money editing the TikToks and the reels, then that keeps you from burning out. You know what I mean? So that's ultimately the big deal.
And you're talking about
stuff to do. Yeah.
And when I'm thinking about this, sometimes I forget that the amount of time and effort I put into this is not necessarily stealing from something else in my business. In fact, what I love about this type of idea and this type of content and the work that it requires is that the time I put into my branding and pushing out this content, ideally, if I do it right, is actually going to lower the amount of time and money it takes me for recruiting, for retention, for culture building, all this stuff that also takes up time and is extremely draining.
That's a really good, like, pairing the idea of content creation and fun with culture building. I think it will help leadership to recognize like the value in this, and like recruiting and getting great people is very hard. So I think I'm the owner. I would get on board with that way sooner if I understand why. Hey, my generation, hey, and I know that your leaders might be our generation, whatever, but you know, we need this type of stuff. I need this type of stuff. We're greedy. I'm a greedy millennial. I need money, and I need to have fun at work.
They want to know.
Sometimes
they want to know, why should I do this instead of van life?
Yeah.
Right.
That's van life. What is it?
Van life. Like you've got like these excited. You talk about.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Like, that's hard. That's hard. We're competing against a bunch of shit right now. Yeah. As employers, we're competing against a lot. The good news is like all this, like doing fun stuff in your marketing content, TikToks, videos, even podcasts, whatever else, stuff that fun. This is fun. It's kind of fun. The more fun content that you can do, it not only helps with recruiting, retention, which is very expensive if you have to replace people over and over again, but it also helps with your it disperses sales concepts throughout the team. I think if you work hand in hand with your sales team about objections, like something that's been really fun for me lately, Richard, I think you should try this. It's super fun. Okay. It's harvesting objections.
Okay.
So you saw my Facebook post the other day that said like, why, like if you aren't working with us yet, why not? And there was a good number of comments, dude. I was like, that felt good. Oh God, that was the best. But all those people, I messaged them, except for you. Well, I'll ask you in a second. Why not now? And like, I want to hear why, like for real, like what's the real reason? A lot of them were money related, but there's some other ones, you know, I'm one of them was like, I'm friends with our marketing agency and it's going to be really uncomfortable. Guess what? I made a video about being friends with your marketing agency and not being romantic, because if the results aren't there, you shouldn't sit there, you know. And that's a really good, like knowing that and actually going into the discomfort, because it is uncomfortable to make that because maybe some of our clients feel, I don't know. I think we do a good job, but who knows? So I'm not friends with any of our clients. No, I'm just kidding.
Results only.
Basically, what's that?
So we're only platonic results only relationship.
Pure workaholics. Fuck friendship. No, but basically like those objections, like harvesting those with your salespeople and stuff like that, and then creating content around it.
I love it.
I think that's a move, dude. That's from They Ask You Answer. And it's basically just like figure out why people aren't buying and make content. And then if your videos and your content are like borderline sales, because now I'm taking all those videos and I'm putting them into Slack and our internal messaging system at our company to our people that are handling the phones and the other salesperson. And so it's like proliferating out all the information internally, and people, and they're on YouTube. So like we've got like really good sales focus, like, and then they can send, and I've already started doing it. I send those videos to prospects that have that question. So now you've got like the sales enablement video culture, and
I love it.
And you know what's even better? It makes your sales guys excited for objections. Yeah, we're gonna harvest. Dude, I want objections. Why aren't you gonna move forward? So that's the question I'm gonna land on here, Richard. Why aren't you gonna move forward with
there's something called
and I want to hear the real answers. I don't want to hear fluff.
No, this is a real answer. Have you heard of sunk cost fallacy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's not necessarily what's going on here, but I'd say there's a level of that, right? The sunk cost fallacy is basically predicated. It's predicated. On the predicated. There we go. It's predicated on the idea that I made a bad decision. I bought the hamburger when I'm on a diet. Now, since I bought it anyways, I'm just gonna stink and eat it. And now I've made actually
the milkshake.
Yeah,
might as well get the milkshake on that.
Now I might as well get the milkshake. So when really what it is, you should have just isolated that one bad. You wasted the money. You have the burger in hand. Throw it away, right? But like I said, it's predicated on the fact you've made one bad decision.
Is it something that you could share, or not something that you could share that you feel
no. So basically, I'm saying there's a level of that I feel going on, but it's more or less just I've spent so much. Maybe there's a better analogy, but I spent a whole 3 months of last year where this isn't basically. I had somebody working on the website, and every week we came back working on it, making it better. What do y'all think? And it was like this internal thing. And now I'm, a year later, I see, man, the results just haven't been there.
Yeah. So basically, it's like, when is the time? I'm harvesting this objection, so I like it. When is the time to actually update the website, basically?
Here's the thing. It's been updated nonstop for 10 years.
Yeah. But like, actually, like, it's basically renovate versus completely redesign.
Yeah. At what point do we asked that question, said, let's redesign. So literally we've had every year almost, we've literally hit delete on the website and had a brand new one in its place.
You can, and this is just that we'll round out the thing on this. I'll stop the recording and we can talk a little bit more, but I just want to end on, you can work with us with your current website, right? You don't have to redesign it.
I've had 2 conversations so far with your team on the opposite of that. That's exactly why. That's one of the only reasons. Out of like 3 main reasons, that's one reason I'm not working with Hook currently, is because of my platform.
That's funny. I don't know if I can keep that. I might as well. No one's gonna watch this, right? Wink to the person watching this. But I don't know why. Maybe we saw some. Is it not on WordPress? Is that maybe the reason?
It's not on WordPress. It's on.
Okay, so that is okay. So that is probably the real reason. One thing that we could consider doing is like essentially taking it and moving it to WordPress, if you were open to that.
I am.
We could take the current website and move it to WordPress, basically.
I'm open to that. And yeah, I don't know how much you want to discuss in detail here in your recording.
We can pop up the video, but I want to say thank you all for watching. Check out Richard and Clean Cut.
I'm here to help. I love being a
Dude, say
resource.
what's up. Yeah.
I love being a resource.
I see having somebody internally is like, I'm starting to see how ridiculously powerful it is. Like, cause I just placed a marketing manager and like, they're in love with that client as an OG client. I was scared they're going to go away or something. And they're in love with that person. And I feel honored to have placed them there. And like, I don't know. So I'm really gung ho on marketing managers right now. I'm going to end the video. Thank you, bro.